turn it on. They scream that only I'll be saved. They toss off the line, but I just let it float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Float away, float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Tell you a story about you and me. Stuck on the water, the waves are getting deep. They scream that only I can breathe. They toss off the mask, but it's a little out of reach. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Float away, float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. There isn't any more to say. If you're not with me, I'd rather not be saved. There's no decision to be made. If you're not with me, I'll just let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. Float away, float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Yeah, I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. I'll let it float away. Float away, float away.
Seconds to go.
Hello to the two fans and welcome! This is Chicago Ted coming to you with the KOD League. Of course, this is a best of 3 that's going to be coming out today with Not Today facing off against Enemy GG. And of course, I am not going about it alone. I am being joined by Mr. Kairos. How you doing, man?
Doing good. So does this mean we're doing it tomorrow then? I'm always confused about this.
Wow. Okay, no, it is going to be happening today. Well punned, I guess. But, so what do you think? I mean, these two teams, they've played against each other quite a bit recently, and, you know, it doesn't seem to be as clear-cut as a matchup as the betting odds make it seem.
Yeah, eSport Gaming seems to have it a little bit more evenly matched. I think Dota 2 Lounge has them as the 2-1 favorite. I think it's a lot more appropriate. The fact that Enemy GG have pretty much beaten Not Today, I mean, they've given them some good Dota, 2-1 in the Pro Dota Cup about 2 months ago, but probably about 45 days or so. So yeah, these, and then Pro Dota Cup number 2, as the manager Shion, a really nice guy, was pointing out for Enemy, 2-0 in the preliminaries, or the quarterfinals, I should say. And I should remember that because I casted that. But here we go again. I mean, literally semifinals. Loser of this match is going to be facing XD Gamers coming up here, and they're going to go with the Doctor.
Yeah, the Witch Doctor proves to be one of the most important supports in the game. I mean, he's got so much potential to be aggressive in both an off and a safe lane. And his ganking power is alright. I mean, he's just got so much damage, so much healing too, that really it's impossible, or very, very nearly impossible to lose the lane with him on your side. But Not Today will go ahead and grab themselves the Invoker, a pretty clutch pick nowadays. And he's strong. He's got nerfed a little bit after his strong showing at the start of this patch, but it was only a small bit, and he's still showing to be a pretty big contender. Of course, the Enchantress is still in the pool, as the Lone Druid has been banned out, and I think you mentioned how both teams like to run an Ursa, which, you know, all said and done against an Invoker is pretty damn good, because that guy is slow as molasses.
Yeah, yes. OD's become a lot more popular too, and just being able to get on top of him is pretty difficult too. Good respect ban on the Void getting taken out, and we're seeing in 6.86 this first ban made it really start to take shape. Lone Druid, OD, Void to a good extent, and a lot of Enchantress, and depending on it'll let a lot of things get through. But Not Today doing their homework obviously on Dota Buff. They won with the Abaddon. Enemy GG won with the Abaddon a couple of days ago against Balrogs in a 2-0 sweep in 23 minutes. That also included the Ursa too, so I'm not sure if they're going to go and include the Bearman this time without the Abaddon, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. They might grab Avenge or something, because they've done it without it and also won.
Yeah. So looking at this draft coming out right now, I mean, we've got Not Today showing a pretty strong duo here, Ancient Apparition and Invoker. They have a lot of global potential too to bring down and nuke a squishy target. What they need right now is someone to lock them in place for long enough, or just to initiate a team fight. I don't think you want to do it with the Invoker. If you have to, he's definitely got the tools to do so, but he's a really good counter initiator too. So I think Not Today, they might be looking to pick up one of those playmaking offlaners, whether it be the Darkseer or the Tidehunter. It's really up to them, though the Enchantress will get picked up by Enemy GG. Enchantress really struggles against an Ancient Apparition and any real other nuker that they can grab. Even something like a Centaur offlane wouldn't be too bad, but in the end, you've just got to grab someone who doesn't really care about the fact that you can't hit her too quickly. You just care about the fact that you can burst her down quickly. She doesn't scale up in strength as well in the early to mid game, and I mean, with Ice Blast again and with Sunstrike or whatever you've got to follow up, they have plenty of tools to get rid of this Inch.
Yeah, great Beastmaster ban right there. I mean, that's a really good setup for the Invoker Sunstrike combo.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful to watch. Yeah, this Enchantress pick. Normally, like Pro Dota Cup America is number 2. Just to give you an example, somewhere around 70% win rate. And man, she was just tearing stuff up. She was 8 for 8 before she finally had a defeat. Probably in I think it was about the playoffs when she finally took a loss in general at all.
Yep.
But picking into an Invoker and an AA with, I mean, you got Chilling Touch, which does magical damage bonus. This is really risky.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to work.
Well, the thing is, with the Chilling Touch, it already slows your attack speed quite a bit. So if you try to hit the Enchantress with the Chilling Touch, you might regret it. But I'm thinking more the Ice Blast as well as the just the sheer fact that you can burst her down so quickly. The Chilling Touch might happen to have an effect on the first right click, but to follow up with that is going to be kind of difficult. I'm looking to Not Today, though, to pick up. Again, we talked about the possibility of an Ursa pick. Not Today might go for it just because the overpower is super strong against the Enchantress. And even though it might struggle a bit, it's kited out a lot by the Enchantress moving a little bit quickly with also her Enchant giving a bit of a slow. Witch Doctor, the Paralyzing Cask being troublesome. It still can be a very potent pick, but again, we talked about it. Not Today. They need themselves a good stunner, and with Beastmaster taken out of the pool, there's still plenty left for them to grab, but we'll have to see what their option is going to be if they want to run something like a Rubik, which scales pretty well with the Ancient Apparition. A Lion, a Shadow Shaman also can do very well.
I'm usually a little skeptical about Nyx picks in like Tier 2 Dota, but this might be a decent game for enemy to go ahead and do an offlane Nyx. Actually, I just realized there are 4 intelligence heroes on the board in the first pick, so either side would actually benefit pretty well from a Nyx here. And I was also thinking, okay, there's the Slard for your jump. There's a good... I mean, he's really... he's still actually been really popular on both teams. I'm kind of thinking Nature's Prophet's going to get grabbed up by one of the teams here. Which team, I'm not exactly sure, because both teams tend to play him quite a bit. The Shaman has come out quite a bit on both teams too. I'm honestly at a bit of a loss here. I'm just kind of waiting to see how this develops with the next pick and then go from there.
Yeah, Slaughter is going to be an important pick here, and the Blink Dagger is going to be incredibly important as well, just to get back, you know, have something to deal with the Death Ward when it comes down, if the Invoker's already used all of his spells, which Witch Doctors will typically wait for these things to go down on cooldown before they pop their Death Ward if they're not already dead. And it looks like enemy GG, there they go. They're going to pick themselves up the Ursa, so Enchantress Ursa, a very valid combination with the slow as well as Ursa, well, just kind of swiping at them and killing them. Slarda is going to be difficult to go on, but not impossible. Ancient Apparition is going to be pretty much food. Invoker, if they've got detection, he's also going to be pretty much food, so... Enchantress Ursa, I like it. I really like it from enemy GG. They do have a very strong supporting cast with the Witch Doctor, but it couldn't hurt to grab either another support or a stunning mid laner.
This is kind of shaping up to be an Omni Knight game. Normally I wouldn't say that, but both sides, with either side diving in melee range, Ursa diving into a Slard with the, all you gotta do is press W and a lot of your troubles are over. With the Ursa anyway, for the kite ability. I'm kind of glad that enemy picked it up instead of Not Today, because literally Ursa is a fantastic counter to Enchantress. The overpower actually does trump the untouchable, so you can get the max attack speed through that, or at least enough to wreck her. This is definitely going to be a big game of BKBs for both teams in general. I wouldn't be surprised if their Invoker winds up picking up a BKB of his own. Jerry, I've seen play a lot of Viper lately. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that here. A lot of physical damage to go with the Slider. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking Jerry with the Viper wouldn't be a bad pick here.
Viper's a disgusting hero. Bane?
Yep.
I like it. I really like it. It's one of those heroes that can combo very well with a Sunstrike. You drop a Nightmare, a Slider just kind of hangs back, the Sunstrike comes in, then you crush him, and, well, that's an easy kill. I've seen it work, and I've also seen it fall flat in its face when the enemy is very keen about taking Nightmare off of the target that they think is being initiated on. But for the moment, you mentioned you're looking for a little bit more out of this team. I think the Bane might give them what they need as far as the stunner goes. The Bane and the Slarder are both still looking to see what they're going to grab. I don't think Slarder is going to be their carry, so seeing what they're gonna grab for their carry. The Viper, I think it'd be disgusting, but I definitely could see it working in this draft. As for enemy GG, I'm not sure if they've got anything really to deal with that Viper. If he picks up an early mech, the Enchantress is kind of useless. The Ursa can't really catch up to him that easy and can just get kited out by the poison. And, well, all right. It looks like if they can't beat it, they're going to go ahead and pick it. I think you were spot on with Not Today picking that one up, and maybe they're going to be scratching their heads a little bit as enemy GG. Wow, what a deny pick.
Yeah. I mean, so
10
you're
seconds to
calling
go.
deny pick. I'm kind of thinking the same way. I mean, they did go into their final phase of bans here, but I mean, it's not a bad idea for the Viper either.
Yeah.
I really like the Bane pickup though, because I mean there is literally one stun, and the chance of that stun hitting the Bane during Fiend's Grip is, well, depending on how big the fight is, it's gonna decrease. So enemy GG have a ton of slows,
10
but they have
seconds
almost
to
no
go.
lockdown whatsoever. We're getting to an alarmingly low
Dyer's
lack of
pick.
lockdown here. Tons of slows. Great number of slows though.
Luckily, there's a couple of supports that can pick up that will boost that lockdown. Lion and Shadow Shaman are the two that come to mind, at least initially, but there are plenty more. A lot of just long duration stuns that they can pick up that would work out with their team. So I'm looking to see if they're going to go maybe something like a Sand King. Again, the Lion we mentioned. Something along those lines to give themselves that little bit of lockdown. Meanwhile, not today. If they can't pick up the Viper, it might just be something like a Razor that they grab to either counter the Viper or just do what they wanted
Reserve
the Viper to do, which is pick up an early mechanism, just be there and strong. Or they could go for some more physical DPS and grab something like a Juggernaut as a very typical matchup to go against an Ursa, or if they're thinking a little bit later, they can grab a Spectre, which I don't think has been banned out. No, she has not. So anything really along those lines is what I imagine they're going to be looking towards this game. And it's, ooh.
Okay,
Huh.
not expecting that one.
Fiend's pick.
You know, I
liking the
should have
idea
been
of the Spectre
expecting that
pick,
one.
though.
Played an in-house the other day, and I picked up a Clinks to counter the Enchantress, and it worked. So I'm guessing that was the idea behind it. Also the fact that, well, Clinks is one of the highest single target damage outputs in the game. Match that with Slardar, the minus armor strategy. This is disgusting. We can see him probably building a medallion into a Desolator this game, and just
10
being an
seconds to go.
overall
Night Stalker.
impossible to deal with hero, though. And Night Stalker's pretty good. The silence is fantastic. We'll have to see exactly how it goes out. It's not the lockdown we mentioned, but it certainly is something.
This is just gonna be a slugfest from game. Like,
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we see a steady 2 kills per minute, probably upwards of like the 15 to 20 minute mark, because this game is just gonna be insane. Look at the roaming potential, the gank potential on both sides. I would not want to be frozen on the Witch Doctor right now. That's one of his main guys. He does really well on it, but this is just not a good game to be a squishy support. Goody as well. Gonna have to watch his back. This is great. I mean, what you typically see a lot in South American Dota is get in your face and, you know, not so much push strat, but just get in your face, get on their side of the map, and murder them. Enemy GG like to
10
play that
seconds to
strategy as
go.
well. We're also gonna see Banana Slam Jam on the Ursa with he's probably gonna be
5
toting that
seconds.
super expensive set. I have no
And
idea.
we're back.
Cygnus said it was something like over $100 set or something like that. It's ridiculous.
On the Ursa?
Yeah, he might be rocking the cowboy.
Oh, it's the
set here.
Cowboy set. No
Yeah.
way.
Better get ready.
It's like retardedly expensive, but yep, he's the cowboy again.
All right. Well, speaking of I mean, I guess this is what I should expect from Banana Slam Jamma. Looking at these lineups right now, honestly, I'm thinking enemy GG have a really solid pickup. I think the Clinks makes me kind of worried for them, but right now they're just solid. They've got a lot of tanky heroes that can deal with an early game Clinks. They've got plenty of rotation capabilities, as well as some good late game potential too. So the draft seems a little bit stacked, in my opinion, towards enemy GG, but I'm not going to call Not Today out of this one just yet because of the fact that their late game is scary. And I mean really scary. The physical damage they can do is going to be obscene. So looking for that to happen. If the early game goes the way of enemy GG, then I'd be struggled to say that Not Today would be able to take it any later, but we'll have to see exactly how it plays out for the early laning stage, as it seems Not Today are going to position themselves for the top rune.
We might see a fight for the top rune. Horn's going to sound. 5 seconds to go. One for one.
We go.
Easy trade down bottom. Actually, they're going to go ahead and get maybe. Yeah, they're content with that bottom rune. So they'll
Yep.
just go ahead and walk away from the top here. This Clinks. I'm just as kind of iffy as you are about this, but what I also like is the fact that the global help with the Sunstrike and the Ice Blast across the map to really help either follow up or set it up for him. I think I might push it over the edge. I'll play devil's advocate. I'll say, I mean, this is really close. I'll say 55-45 in favor of Not Today with the draft. Let's see how they execute.
I could deal with a 55-45. I'd go more 60-40, but that's just my my opinion. AC in the bottom lane. This is the tough one for him. If he stays back behind his creep wave, he's going to be all right. Just make sure that you can't be paralyzing cast chain stun. But if he gets a little bit too close, maybe gets a little too cocky, he could easily see himself on the receiving end of one hell of a Maledict. So it looks like he is going to play this one very careful, hang back behind, just barely within experience range so that he finds his levels. But Banana Slam Jamma, by and large, should have a fairly easy and relatively uncontested lane. The mid, Invoker versus Viper, I'd say earlier on, Viper has an easier time, but Invoker scales just a little bit better out of this one.
Oh man, Zebra. Epic duel between, or epic battle between weird, creepy Night Stalker humanoid and centaurs here. Had me worried about the first blood going to the Radiant camp there, or to the Radiant camp, I should say.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a jungling Night Stalker. I mean, how exactly do you play this? It looks like he's already burned through 3 out of the 4 tangos, unless, you know, he gave one to his mid laner, then it's 2 out of the 3 tangos. And even though he's got the Iron Talent, it just doesn't seem like he's that quick of a jungler. But I don't know. I could stand corrected very soon. If anything, if this works, we might be seeing pubs get ruined for the next week. But Iron Talent, I mean, it was added to the game for, if not this purpose, something very similar. So with a salve out, looks like he'll just go for another camp and find his experience and gold that way.
Yeah, it looks like he went ahead and did 2 large camps back to back. He's going to pick up level 3 before 2 minutes, and even though the first night got nerfed in the last patch, or the patch before that, I should say, we have like 5 or 6 addendum patches to 6.86. I think we're on like 6.86 now or something, but yeah, I mean, Night Stalker, first night got nerfed with the Void, the night duration, but I mean, the fact that he's already picking up some good levels right away with no problems, this should be a pretty rough first night in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he's going to be able to make use of it, though, as Goody is wrapping around on the Sovereign. I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be able to do anything about this, but with someone coming up the river, it's Jerry and an Invis Rune. Okay, this could be trouble. Do we have a Sunstrike on Invoker? It looks like he does have the ability to invoke it, but they're waiting. They're waiting and watching. Jerry is going to hold on to his first skill point for now. And it looks like, oh, he reveals himself, goes for the Nightmare onto Sovereign. They're not going to do anything right now, and Sovereign's going to pull it off with the Wildkin. So nothing actually going to happen with that. And that's the problem with Enchantress. You can't just Nightmare her. Meanwhile, oh, Slayer is going to bring down 1, 2, 3 in the mid lane on the Invoker. Okay, well, when I said that Viper has an easier time in the early game, I guess I wasn't kidding. Slayer will go ahead and grab that first blood, and that is very good for this mid lane. That sets him really far ahead.
Makes me wonder, like, I don't think he was caught napping, like looking for the Sunstrike opportunity, because he didn't invoke into Sunstrike yet. So my guess is that he just tried to go head-to-head and won. But yeah, a little bit of a misplay by Not Today. I mean, they had a grand opportunity right there with the Nightmare. I mean, you have the Chilling Touch at level 1, potentially level 2, into that fight. Look, I think it was level 1 at the time, but 3 ranged guys with that, which should be more than enough to kill an Enchantress, even with a slow attack speed.
Yep, and it's the same thing if you've got something like a Beastmaster offlane, which I think was banned out, and possibly for this reason. You can just take off the Nightmare just like that. It's almost broken how easily you can get rid of that if you're against the Bane, but that's kind of one of the balancing factors about the fact that it's one of the longest or longer single target disables in the early game, and scales pretty well for itself. So it's looking like they're not going to be able to kill this Enchantress. If not, they're not going to be able to do it easily. So Sovereign should have an easy time just finding some experience, and it looks like just disrupting the polls. They can't do anything about this.
Man, I never even thought about that, using the boar to break the Nightmare. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Dude, that is awesome. I'm going to try that now. We got level 4
one hell of
Night
an
Stalker.
offlaner.
Yep, here we go with the first night, and guess what? This Invoker trying to jungle, trying to get some stacks. Oh, here we go.
He goes ahead and he silences the wrong unit, ends up putting the crippling fear out onto the Forge Spirit. Now they're going to turn around. 1, 2, 3. We'll look for
here
the
they
kill,
come.
but Flying Zebra is just flying away. Jerry, though, he's going to be in with a Nightmare. This is trouble. AC coming from the back lines, and they've got the Cold Snap queued up. Flying Zebra will be taking the second death of this game. The Chilling Touch, just a little bit of BM right on the back of that. As and enemy GG will give themselves up a kill, and not today. Will even the score 1-1.
Yeah, and so 1 misplay each equals 1 kill each so far. And AC will take the mid lane for a bit, getting hammered here. That extra sprint ticking in. There you go. The extra damage reduced. Tranquil Boots, I really like this on a position 3 Slard. Just his ability to just go everywhere. I don't even think he had to TP to get in that fight. He was literally everywhere. He's pretty much the Visa of this game. He's everywhere you want him to be. And meanwhile, BSJ, 40 CS at 5 minutes, not too shabby. I'm sure Purge is pleased with this. Looks like he's just going for the Fury swipes, and nothing else changing.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of rotations in the mid.
If he picks up something like
Schofield in
a
trouble.
Morbid Mask, he should be able to Roche as, yep, Schofield in the top. They've got a dust for him. This is time Flying Zebra might be able to find his kill, but Jerry's in there with the Nightmare taking off the aggression, and Flying Zebra now might be in a bit of trouble. They didn't end up taking off. They're actually going to turn onto 1, 2, 3. This time they find themselves a kill. Nightstalker will punch him down, though Jerry's looking for more. They've also got Schofield down there. Should be able to bring down someone, or at least do a decent chunk of damage with his searing arrows, but they're looking at nothing here. There are no kills for them in sight. Sovereign is near impossible to take down alone, so it looks like, oh, actually in the mid lane, Slayer on AC won't be able to do too much. Nightmare, though, comes out onto Flying Zebra, but that should be it for now. No Sunstrikes, nothing.
Yep, it doesn't look like we're going to have darkness at the tail end of this night, and we've got about 90 seconds left. Zebra really feeling it with that Arcane Rune. He wants to try and make a move here. He might be able to come up on the backside of Jerry, who's only level 2. And yeah, it looks like you might get an opportunity here. Here we go.
Yep, they're going to go in. Jerry in a bit of trouble. They come out with the Void. They aren't going to Crippling Fear him just yet. They're out of mana, so they can't quite do it. He does have a magic stick, but doesn't even need it. They'll go ahead and right-click down Jerry. And no trouble. As you said, very low-level Bane. Can't really save himself. Doesn't really have any mana to do anything either, as Flying Zebra will make his way in towards the bottom.
It was a pretty epic duel, all things considered, until the Viper came and messed things up. You know, Night Stalker versus a Nightmare Bane in the middle there. But yeah, BSJ is just literally shrugging off everything that comes his way right now. Frozen's actually having a nice lane too, level 4. This is one of those, we're getting to that really weird tipping point around the 10-minute mark where if you don't have your supports at least close to level 6, they become victims. Jerry he's at level 3 and he's very far away from level 4. Hopefully he can get some lane XP or something near Schofield with some cover. If he doesn't, I mean, he runs the risk of becoming totally victimized and not being able to do what I mean, he's one of the main counters to Ursa right now in this game. And if they just keep killing him so quickly, at the end, he won't get any experience for his fight. So top tower going down, or bottom tower going down, I should say.
Bomb's going to go down.
Gotta watch himself.
Yep, and making use of some of that distraction, they tried to go on Sovereign again on the top lane, but as was what happened the last time, they just remove the Nightmare off himself and walk away. This, again, it's just so impossible to take down this Enchantress. She's finding all the gold she wants, all the experience she wants. 30 CS for an offlaner is pretty obscene, although she does have some jungling potential. It still is very difficult to give that away. Plus, she's level 6 before 10 minutes. Another thing that you really don't want to have happen, or at least want to mitigate how much experience she gets, and they haven't really been able to do either of those things. So even though Schofield has been having an easy lane so far, so too has Sovereign, and also Banana Slam Jamma, who ended up going for that Roche that we talked about with just the Morbid Mask. All you need is 2 points in Fury Swipes, 3 points in Overpower, and a Morbid, and you can take down Roche pretty much solo.
A little help from his friends, didn't exactly hurt either.
Oh,
we
yeah.
got Frozen with a little bit of a hybrid build here. He's got as much stun as he can, and he's going for a little bit of heal as well. So a little bit of everything, a little bit of both worlds there. Sovereign's going to go ahead and work on a drum now. We got the mech for Slayer. He's got some progress on it. I'd say a little over half done. BSJ with the Roche gold. We'll see what he winds up building here. You think just straight into, he's got the phase boots done. You think he's going to rush the blink or go into a Vlad's next?
I think the blink's pretty typical. A lot of the time, actually, Ursas don't finish Vlad's. I'm not going to regret that statement because a lot of the time in pubs they do, but Ursa doesn't need to finish his Vlads. He can just straight keep the Morbid Mask and maybe even get rid of the Morbid Mask if someone else wants to build a Vlad. So I think that Blink rush is going to be very important for him. Just hold on to the Morbid for a bit. Don't really worry about rushing that Vlads and get that next damage item up and out before you have anything else to, before you start running out of physical DPS that you so desperately need to continue being a player in this game. So whatever he decides to do, again, that Blink should be the first thing to come out. And speaking of Blinks, AC is getting relatively close to his 1,300 gold, so sitting at about 800, 900 away from that. It's going to be a pretty important pickup for the other side of the field, not today. Should be looking to getting him as much farm as he needs. That doesn't interfere with Schofield, obviously, but get him that Blink Dagger and then force him to start some fights.
Speaking of Blink Dagger too, AC, yeah, getting close to his. Goody getting close to 6, about halfway. Jerry's still kind of, I mean, we're at 10 minutes and he's not even halfway to 6 yet. He's going to go ahead and get some solo XP here, but he's really running the risk of becoming a victim here.
Yep.
Everyone else doing pretty well. We've got Flying Zebra, he's got his Darkness. We're about to go into our second night as well. We got about a minute and change left over. So whether or not they're going to, I mean, they've got, what do they say, about 2, 3, maybe, I'd say 2 minutes and change on the Aegis. So maybe going ahead and popping Darkness and making a move before nightfall. I mean, we're going to probably see a move within the next minute or so, most likely.
Yep, his Force Spirit trying to kill the Courier is not going to happen. But talk about the Bane being low level like this, and this is the trouble with a game that has 4 kills in 11 minutes. Bane desperately needs a huge amount of aggression to come out in the first couple of minutes to get that fast level 6, and because that hasn't really happened, of course, you know, it's just a low level Bane. So they're actually going to go forward onto Schofield. This is a very important kill for Banana Slam Jamma, the first one with his Blink, and it is on the enemy carry, the guy you need to live through fights like these. So enemy GG. This is a very scary thing for Not Today to have to deal with, as Slayer's now kind of diving past the tier 2 tower with a mechanism completed. I mean, it doesn't get really any scarier than that. If enemy GG want to try to push the high ground and be aggressive, they most certainly can. Mechanism, Aegis Immortality, they've got everything they need to just straight be aggressive and burn down some towers. And it looks like instead of going for the tier 3 just yet, they are going to go after the tier 2s. A smarter play, get as much gold in the bank as possible, get your items out. But for right now, 12 minutes in for a 5-kill game, there is an awful lot of lead going the way of enemy GG. Close to 10k gold, about 4k experience, but the gold, that's the real big thing here.
Oh, they found Jerry. He stuck his neck out a little too far.
And, well, Flying Zebra, it looks like he's the one to go down for that one. So that's good for AC. Get the gold he needs, get that Blink Dagger out. Still about 300 gold short, or 250, but it still is on its way, and that's the most important part. He just cannot die, as the Courier could be in a bit of trouble. Schofield, he was searching for. They've got it hasty, just needs 2 hits off on it. Maybe just 1. No, the 1 won't be enough. Even with the burning, searing arrows, it just was not quite what he needed to get the Courier.
Second to last tier 2 tower going down here as we go through. I mean, we're in the shallow end of this night here. We got a little over 3 minutes to go. Don't mean to toot my own horn, but Darkness popped about 30 seconds after I called it. And AC, yeah, it's such a, this is going to be, I mean, this Aegis is burning a hole in their pocket. It's going to be going down pretty soon here. I think it's got like less than a minute left. Jumping in on Goody.
Oh man, the Enrage is going to help him take as little damage from this Ice Blast initial as possible, but it is going to start stacking up if they stay in the fight, so they will back up. Now, Sovereign's taking a bit, but with the Fairy Nature's Attendant, she should be able to heal right back up, though the Aegis Immortality does get reclaimed. It's a pretty awful timing for him, as they really wanted to be super aggressive there, but Ice Bat Blast proving to be one of those skills that you just don't play around with. Meanwhile, Flying Zebra, Schofield was looking, they're hunting, but that's a tough kill to get when you're a solo Clinks.
Yeah, he's a little behind too. This is a pretty, I mean, Zebra is almost living the dream right now. He's already got a point booster. He's almost he's taking about a third of the way to his Agnums already. He's actually going for treads instead of phase boots, so he's tanky. I mean, Urn of Shadows as well. This is one hard to kill Batman right now. Slayer in the same boat, literally, mech done. We think he's going you think he's going for the Lance here, or you think he's going to go Aghanims? I mean, we're starting to see a little more of the Dragon Lance on Viper players in Pro Dota.
I'm not totally sure I want to see a pre-20-minute Aghanim Scepter out of this guy. I think he could probably get away with a Sange, actually, but the Dragon Lance wouldn't be too bad of a pickup. I definitely don't want to see that early of a BKB, though. You really want to hold on to it when the Invoker starts becoming more of an issue, so that you've got the 10 to high duration BKBs when you need it most, and those big team fights where Invoker is going to be a problem. For right now, Invoker really isn't that big of an issue. Only 1 point in Invoke, typical for a pre-13 Invoker. It's one of those things that, yeah, I don't really want to see it come out right now, so I could definitely see the Dragon Lance being picked up, as that will build into it if he wants to disassemble it later. And Schofield,
Final tier 2.
Oh boy, top lane, just getting chased. One more, 2 more, I guess.
Oof!
Yeah, that's
Running
it.
from Impetus. Oh god, it's just watching, looking over your shoulder, slow motion. You just know what's happening. It's just, you know what's coming. It just gets closer and closer.
He was trying
Playing
to dive
Enchantress
into the
is so
trees
fun right now.
to get rid of the vision too. I mean, fogging someone out like that, especially an Enchantress, could be huge. Give you a little bit of time to get that TP off, but of course that wasn't quite going to be possible for him, as yeah, the sheer damage coming out from Impetus was way too much for him. Kind of like the play he made where he Dark Pacted or Death Pacted to try to get a little bit of extra tankiness. Still on agility treads though, which may or may not have been a misplay, but regardless, there was no way he was getting out of that one alive.
You were mentioning BKBs. Actually, no, we're going to go ahead and go for the Deso. Their Klink's going to go ahead and double down for the damage. He's still a ways away, but he's got a little bit more deeps picked up. We're out of tier 2 towers. We're down to literally just entrenching in their base and poking their heads out when they can. That means the gold is flowing. Literally, we've got almost, I'd say about 12k gold swinging their way. That's about, I mean, I'm no math wizard. I went to Collinsville High in Illinois. So somewhere around 750 to 800 gold per minute lead at 16 minutes with such an aggressive mid-game draft lineup. I mean, this is just absolutely terrifying right now. We've got 4 in the top 5, and Schofield is literally a distant 4th place right now behind 3.
Yeah, it's about a 750 gold per minute lead right there. That is very, very huge. And, you know, Schofield, he can't really, we mentioned the BKB versus the Desolator, he can't go BKB right now. He has to go pure damage, because if he goes BKB, sure, he survives a little bit longer in the team fight, but he doesn't actually make an impact like what he needs to. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and Death Pact out. They're going to go out for Banana Slam jamming, but that TP away, brilliantly timed to get just away from the Slitherine Crush. And now it looks like enemy GG, they want to turn this one around and go for the counter initiation, but not today. Realizing that they're overstaying their welcome, will back off. Schofield running in a little bit with Flying Zebra, but won't be caught out too much. And of course, there is an Observer Ward here for Not Today, which will make sure that they see everything enemy GG is doing, at least for the next half second, as Frozen will get rid of it.
Lucky break there, too, for Schofield. He didn't collide with Flying Zebra. Oh, I mean, speaking of collisions, though.
Yeah, there's a Sunstrike. There's an Ice Blast. They had the Fiend's Grip as well. Will cancel it to try to give himself a little bit of time to run away. Actually, can he deny himself? No, it will get removed. Going for the Brain Sap, but won't be able to survive. It's a 1-for-1, but a Bane for a Night Stalker. That's not too bad of a trade here, as it seems the Golden Experience will slide quite a bit in favor of Not Today. About 500, but that's more than they could have asked for at this point in the game with the lead that MUGG have gotten.
Interesting Diffusal pickup here. That's 3 intelligence heroes who are literally just going to be... I mean, that's really scary against this as it is.
Oh, I love
the fact that he's
Diffusal
doing
Blade.
so much damage.
I love Diffusal Blade so much on an Ursa. And you see, because Diffusal Blade is no longer in a unique attack modifier, he ends up going for the Helm of the Dominator. This is probably one of my favorite not seen often builds, and potentially seeing a Manta style after this has been kind of one of the popular things to do with it. But the thing about this build is it is so hard to play against, because you can't kite the Ursa. You just cannot. Between Enchant, between the Diffusal Blade charges, it's impossible. And if you've got any sort of buffs on yourself, he'll remove it, but it doesn't seem like Ghost Scepters are going to be coming out anytime soon. But if they do grab Ghosts to try to counter that Ursa, well, it purges off the Ghost Scepter buff. So Banana Slam Gemma will grab himself another Roshan. This is another Aegis, a little bit of extra experience to go his way. But right now, this bear is going to be a huge problem for the next push that enemy GG decide to execute.
Yeah, the first one to crack 10K and almost the entire lead. I'd say, and they're basically up an entire hero. They're basically up an entire Ursa in terms of net worth right now.
Yeah.
If you look at the net worth, they've stopped the bleeding since the last, say, about 15, 16 minute mark. But they're essentially fighting without an arm and missing a couple pints of blood. But they're still in this. Literally, that last 1-for-1 trade was about a 200 gold difference. About 200 going for enemy, 400 for not today. So definitely in throw range, but the gold lead is still, and we've gone down to about 550, 600 gold lead per minute, and that also means that that's just not going to be quite as much that they get out of each kill now, despite the fact that these guys have some horrific items right now. We've got Sovereign living the dream right now. Aghanims is half done already at 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's very scary. Went for the Dragonlance too, which for an Enchantress is near impossible to play against. And what did our Viper end up going for? He's holding on to that Ogre Club pretty casually, it seems. What has he got in the Courier? It is going to be a BKB. I'm not totally sure I agree, but it looks like the fight's going to start. The Ice Blast comes out, but only hit onto Slayer. Meanwhile, AC just gets blown to bits. And of course, I guess there's that BKB. There's a reason for it. Not taking away any more damage than he needs to, and now this tower is taking way too much to deal with. Looks like Radiant's Courier will go down, however, it's not carrying anything, so they won't lose all that much. Meanwhile, Schofield, this is trouble. He cannot die here. He is half their team and more. I guess more than half their team would be the statement, as he goes down 40 seconds. One of the benefits of being so far behind is the fact that you're not dead for so long. Jerry will go for the Fiend's Grip on the Sovereign. AC gets a nice 5-man stun, but they can't really do anything off the back of this one. Slayer will back off. Meanwhile, Jerry, the impetus flying through. They'll get the kill eventually. Ice Blast will come in, but it will miss Slayer just barely. And the rest of enemy GG, they go straight on to these first set of barracks. This is trouble. AC will come in, but will blink back as Flying Zebra goes toe-to-toe, and AC's like, nope, not gonna happen.
Looking to be a repeat. Balrog's Esport won each game in 23 and 16 minutes respectively. Oh, there goes another one going down. They're just going full hand towards the tier 4 here. Looks like they might go ahead and back off. Give it a little bit of respect, a little bit of time. They probably won't game it yet. Let's see, they still have the Aegis? Yeah, they still do. They might just go ahead and get a quick stop for snacks, get a quick reload, and then head back out and make it a GG push with the Aegis before it's gone. Probably trying to make it about a 25-minute game, it seems. Maybe even 24.
Yeah, 24-minute game seems well within their reaches. Oh boy, Schofield. At least he doesn't have a Gem of True Sight, but he does have the Kobold Foreman. That extra movement speed is ridiculous for an Ursa. So between the slows they have and now the extra movement speed with Phase Boots moving at 500 MS. Actually Schofield. He dies to a pretty much solo Witch Doctor. I mean, of course, you had Flying Zebra in there facilitating more like baiting, but that is not something that should be happening to Schofield. And this Clinks is not pulling the weight. Almost imagine maybe another carry pickup could have been able to do a little bit more, as Clinks, once he got a decent lane, it seemed he tried to fight too early, got shut down in those fights, died once, twice, 3 times, enough to send him far enough back where he's having 0 impact. Middle of the net worth board. Ice Blast will come through, connecting the Banana Slam Gemma there. Also got a Sunstrike, which will do nothing through the Enrage, and the tower already going down. Banana Slam Gemma taking very little to no damage. And not today. I mean, they're planning their attack, but it doesn't seem like any strategy will work for them. They'll go in on the BSJ, but remember, he's got that Aegis Immortality. They'll mech him up anyway, but, I mean, this Ursa's got to die eventually, right? Yes, yes,
so
there we
close.
go.
Woo. I was starting to wonder if he would. They have a decent number of heals here. They've got Mech, Buddha Restoration, and the Spirits. So it's actually looking like he might have survived. But not today. We'll get a kill. Well, sort of a kill out of it, but another set of racks fallen. It was contested, but again, they didn't stop him. No kills for...
Oh, this is a gem on Flying Zebra. Schofield! Schofield, no! It looks like AC and Schofield are going to go down. Frozen has dropped, though, but yeah, there's your things going down once again. And AC, yeah, there's not much more they can do about that. A 1-for-2 support for 2 cores, and possibly the second complete set of racks.
Yep, that's done. That's definitely Dunyan Rings. 24-minute Heart, Diffusal Blade, Helm of the Dami, and the fact that you're able to just go ahead and grab a creep for speed, just for good measure. Just shows the state of this game. Oh, that was the first assist, the first kill that Schofield has been able to participate on this entire match. He's 0-5-1. Completely shut down.
Yeah, and it looks like just a BM fight here from Banana Slam Jamma. He could go after towers, but instead he wants to be a bear and scare them back to their fountain, just saying, guys, it's over. Just GG out. And it looks like they're going to listen. The big bad bear scared the sense into them, and they'll go ahead and pop this into game 2. So looking at strategy-wise, what do you think Not Today can do a little bit better coming into the next game to end up completing a game 2 and maybe pushing it to a game 3?
I honestly think the draft was looking really good up to about the 4th pick. Enemy, it seemed like they were counter-picking or force-picking a lot of stuff that Not Today really loved. Jerry, a big fan of the Viper. Schofield, I haven't really seen him on the Clinks, actually, up until now, and it just seems like he was in full... Every time he was in a fight, he was always running away. I mean, at least when you're going down, I mean, of course, we're literally on the God Cam calling it like it is, but...
Yeah. Hindsight
basically,
2020.
I mean, he had the Deso, maybe at least able to get another kill. Enough of a deterrent anyway, but the fact that the psychological warfare from enemy just completely taking control of Not Today's playstyle, they weren't, I mean, literally weren't able to do what, they just completely didn't let him do what they wanted to do. Definitely going to see an Ursa ban, probably a Night Stalker ban. But aside from that, probably more the same meta, but we'll see how game 2 goes.
Yep, looking forward to it, guys. Once again, this is Enemy GG taking on Not Today and the Kings of Dota League, guys. Do not change that channel. We'll be right back with game number 2.
There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. Cameras to capture your image at City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I'll really give it to y'all. Brave is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we bleed vapors, green got us bleeding in streets for cheap paper. Assemble the masses, melt the plastic compound, realign when the shit gets drastic. Lit the veil when the system's unmasked. It's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. The power with the power, we charge Jurassic. Nation T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes, take back the Atlas.
Bring the madness.
Bring the madness. There's a pyramid of power with eyes that can see it all. And cameras to capture your image at City Hall. Realize they listen whenever you make a call. If you want a revolution, I'll really give it to you.
Brave is the army that bands against bands of dead presidents, determining life of mankind of cancerous. How we breathe vapors, we got us bleeding in streets for cheap paper.
Assemble the masses, melt the plastic compound, realign when the shit gets drastic. Lit the veil when the system's unmasked. It's just another pyramid scheme, a government racket. The power, we charge Jurassic. Nation T-Rex with covert tactics. Rise from the ashes, take back the Atlas.
Bring the madness. Bring the madness. Bring the madness.
Bring the madness.
Hello to the two fans and welcome back. This is Chicago Ted coming to you with game number 2 of Enemy GG taking on Not Today. Of course, Enemy GG putting on a clinic in the last game. Not Today are going to look to try to equalize the series and take it to a game 3, but they are at a bit of a disadvantage here. Tell me a little bit about that disadvantage, Kairos.
Well, just to bring you guys up to speed, these guys have faced each other both times in the Pro Dota Cup in December and January, respectively. It was 2-1 in January, or 2-1 in December, and then 2-0 Enemy knocked them out in January. So literally going into this, Enemy is just on a complete hot streak against Not Today. It shows them as the 2-1 favorite on Dota 2 Lounge, Enemy GG. Esport Gaming shows them as pretty even, but I don't think that's giving it enough credit. And I'm kind of surprised that we didn't at least see either an Ursa ban or, I mean, we're still going with the first draft meta here, but we're still, I mean, the second draft is the second phase of this this draft with the pick bans. We're definitely going to see more respect bans coming out. Definitely going to get that Ursa out of the way. Both teams like him. I think Schofield will be able to slip that Clinks in if he wants to get him through with no problems, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to really worry about that Clinks pickup. And, you know, looking back, they actually had a really good, and I think I mentioned this one with a Night Stalker. If I didn't, I apologize. But Night Stalker is pretty good. The silence is fantastic. Clinks can't really do much if he cannot cast anything. Even though he's got a lot of physical damage, the reason he is the highest physical damage output is because of not only the burning spear, or not the burning spears, the searing arrows, but also the ability to just send a whole lot of them at one time. And if he can't cast, then he can't, you know, do that. So that's one of the big issues he faces. Also, because a Night Stalker with Acronyms and Gem, yeah, you're not getting away from that. You're not initiating on that. You're not even playing in the same playing field as that, because he will find you, he will seek you out, and he will bring you down. So Flying Zebra having a fantastic game. I think if we're going along respect bans, Ursa and Night Stalker, as you mentioned, are going to be some of the things that we need to look for. Meanwhile, Clinks, I'm not totally sure Enemy GG worry about that pickup. Maybe they want to go for the Ursa early this time, because I think you mentioned Not Today play Ursa very well themselves. So giving them up to the other end is probably not something they want to do.
Yeah, they do, and I'm starting to wonder. The whole lot of thought going into Not Today's draft, and I'm wondering, okay, yes, we did not have a mass Exodus DC or anything. You almost went Liam Neeson on me there for a second with the Night Stalker quote there. But one thing you'll probably see is when you got your backs to the wall like this in your draft, you tend to fall back on things that work a little better for you. As far as win rates for Not Today, Schofield's doing great with Juggernaut. He's doing great with Anti-Mage. He's actually 6 for 6 in Pro Dota with that.
Really?
Clockwork's pretty decent. Batrider, he's 9 for 10. So Queen, a little over 50%. So we'll probably see him fall back to, say, a Wind Ranger, which is about 5 for 8. I'm thinking maybe a Juggernaut pit form or maybe an Anti-Mage. Just you tend to fall back to with what works for you when you're in this kind of position. So if enemy are seeing that, a Juggernaut ban will most likely come in the second stage, if not the very last.
And Enemy GG, they get their Witch Doctor again. Oh, this is troublesome. I talked about this guy. He is first pick material for a reason. One of those supports that you cannot let get drafted against you. He is such a very good tempo controller in the early game. Safe lane with the immense amount of right-click damage he can do. The paralyzing cask is absolutely abysmal to deal with. And Enemy GG, they also get the Beastmaster. Oh my god, this is such a good starting combo to get. And of course, it's no Ursa, but Beastmaster has got to be one of my favorite offlaners this patch for multiple reasons. The biggest one being he is the offlaner with one of the greatest chances of taking control of the enemy's jungle while he's offlaning. So send the board of right-click in lane and you go to the jungle with your second board, because he can have 2 of them up. Or, you know, send your boars to the jungle and you take the lane, or take the lane then go to the jungle, back and forth. Whatever the case, he is impossible to deal with. A lot of HP to burn through and a lot of attack speed to just destroy anyone he goes up against.
As far as someone who's really hard to kill, this new Void around level 7 is absolutely just a nightmare to deal with.
Yep.
We've seen it, instead of the... So Enchantress got banned out, more of a respect ban and a meta ban combined, but that will make space for Void to go through. In the off lane, we've got two really good players on, I believe it's Team Freedom, IX Mike and Mineski Fangay. They both do it very well, and it's just what we're seeing is, at this point with level 7, you get the Time Walk maxed out. That's a 6-second cooldown to reverse tons of tower damage, and you can literally send in a Void to absorb multiple ults and continue to tower dive, continue to keep moving in, and reverse damage left and right every 6 seconds. It's just such a nightmare to deal with. Silence is one of the best ways to kill him, like you mentioned, taking out a Clinks as well. So hopefully they can have something, maybe get an Orchid Carrier or something like that. But yeah, the Beastmaster will not be on Not Today's side. They won't have the sweet Roar or the Fussroda Sunstrike combo. Unfortunately, hopefully he'll have a better mid lane. 1-2-3, man, he got bullied hard.
And it might just be another Bane pickup. The issue that we talked about with the Bane pickup is that Beastmaster can remove the Nightmare, but Bane still is very powerful when combined with the Invoker. Now, the Faceless Void kind of makes it interesting because you don't really need to set anything up for the Faceless Void. Meanwhile, okay, this, you know, honestly, Beastmaster and Ursa is nearly a GG combo right there. And I'm not going to call it in the draft. I very rarely will call it in the draft. But when we talk about an offlaner that can bring down a Faceless Void, Beastmaster is that. Especially since the Time Walk does not get Faceless Void as far away. With the slows from the boar, Beastmaster could just chase him down. But when you combine the attack speed of the Beastmaster with the Ursa, even with her overpowered down, Ursa still hits like a truck and continues to hit like a truck, as well as their push just being fantastically strong. So Not Today, they either need to break even on this early game or win it, because they have a push coming in at about 20 minutes that I'm not quite sure they can stop if they don't.
Yeah, like you said, once they get the itemization and get the creeps up, when we had the Kobold form and the phase boots, I mean, it was at the point where the number of slows that Not Today were able to offer was just not enough. We still have a lot right here. Lich bringing a lot to the table in terms of keeping an Ursa under wraps for now. One thing I was looking for is, does Not Today play Shadow Demon at all, which is a great counter Ursa? Doesn't look like it really at all, so that's, well, okay. Last time they played it, though, was 4 months ago, so don't expect it here, and their win rate's not good. It's under 50%, so one of the best counter supports not going to happen here, so BSJ, again, going to be probably living the dream this game, unless they can do, maybe switch their, let's see, or put AC in the safe lane and do a tri-lane up top. Maybe that might keep it under control for a little bit, but... Yep. Yeah, they might just not just be a traditional lineup. They'll have to really change their game up.
I think Not Today right now have to think about counter push, like wave clear rather, is something that's going to be incredibly important for them. Lich has a decent amount of it. Invoker, you really don't want to use his spells for wave clear if you can avoid it. Faceless Void, I can imagine he's going to be getting something like a Maelstrom into a Mjolnir this game just for that reason, but they need more. They need to be able to sit in their base 15 to 20 minutes and just push everything back. Kill the creeps, bring backdoor protection up, force enemy GG back. And one of the more popular ways to do it is to pick themselves up something like a Keeper of the Light. The issue Keeper of the Light will face is that he isn't that powerful of a laning support, which is something you need. So right now, Not Today are struggling with a bit of a catch-22 because they either pick up some heavy lockdown and make their lane as strong as possible, or they pick up some counter push and make it so they can turtle a little bit better. And really, the only option that I can see working out for them in the long run would be the turtling option. But that comes with a price tag of not winning the lane. And with Faceless Void on your side of the field, he cannot just get bullied out of that lane. But I fear they don't really think they've got a choice.
I don't think the Void's really going to have much of a problem. Razor's a good pickup here. The DK also a good pickup. Probably going to be, it's probably going to be mid for that. The Razor is a good counter pick to both of them. You can get a lot of kite action going on, take some damage down. Won't help as much with the Fury Swipe, but I mean, honestly, a Void can generally keep himself on. The Witch Doctor is really the only threat right now, but he'll be able to take care of himself for quite a while. And once he gets about level 5 or at least level 3, starts getting more shorter cooldown on these very, very low mana cost time walk, will be able to reverse a lot of damage, keep himself going, at least to the point where you can get 7 and then start contributing to a fight. Like you were saying with the turtle thing, they've got a lot of big ults that have some pretty long cooldowns, so you can only turtle so many times before they come right back at you, and your ults are off cooldown. That Chain Frost, I mean, if you start turtling it before you even hit level 11, you got a 2-minute cooldown on that thing, and Chronosphere before you get Ags, yeah, the second push is what's going to get you.
Yeah. And Razor, like, I like him for the counter push. The plasma field is pretty strong, and he can deal with Ursa in a reasonable capacity. We talked about the potential to pick that up last game when instead they picked up the Clinks, but I think the Razor may have worked a little bit better in that scenario, and I'm happy they picked it up this game, but I'm still kind of worried about their ability to clear out those waves, as we said, and this last support will show exactly what they want to do. As, of course, the Dazzle would have been a great pickup there, and I can't believe I didn't see it at first, but now that he's out, well, it doesn't really even matter. Meanwhile, enemy GG, they're going straight for the Jugular. They picked themselves up a Chen, and now instead of a 20-minute push, as you said, we're looking at a 15-minute window right now, or a window starting at 15 minutes, rather, that enemy GG can just straight up walk at Not Today's base and pretty much just throw bodies at it, bring down racks, and Not Today won't have anything really to say about it.
Yeah, basically, exactly like you said. Throw bodies at it, get the big ults off or put them on cooldown, and then get it. I mean, the Dragon Knights, literally, you don't even have to use it for the first push. By the time just about every team fight that they're going to be able to come in for. Kunkka,
I like it. I really like it. I think he's got a decent amount of wave clear, as well as his stun being very good. But the thing I like about him most right now is the fact that if anyone on enemy GG stays a little bit too long or ends up pushing a little bit too far onto the high ground, and X marks the spot, will pretty much be a free pickoff for Not Today. So this is one of the things that's going to make it a little bit difficult. The issue I can see for Not Today, of course, with that pickup is that he's not a very strong support either. So there is a little bit lacking right there. But we're going to be going into this game. There's enough theory crafting you can do with the draft before the actual game makes any difference. But right now, enemy GG, I'm liking their draft a little bit more. I'm going to go back with that 60-40 I was talking about. Maybe up it to a 65-35. But I do favor enemy GG coming out into this early game.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum that they have against Not Today, I mean, that's definitely got to be factored in. Their execution and confidence against Not Today is fantastic. They've literally won, let's see, 3 games, they won 2, and then, so 5 out of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, math is hard. So 4 out of 5, and now 5 out of 6 in the last 2 months against Not Today. I mean, literally feeling good about this. So I'm going to say 30-70 for Not Today.
Wow.
So
change of heart right there. You were the more moderate guy last game.
I was. But one thing I didn't factor in was the fact that enemy have literally just been dominating this team since December.
Well, we'll see if Not Today can find their stance, poise up for a clutch Game 3 ticket, or if they're just going to go ahead and leave this one empty-handed as we come in towards the belt. We're going to have about a 50-50 rune split. Not Today don't offer a lot into this bottom lane. I think they're just comfortable that they're not going to be contested at all. So they will get the bottom rune. Enemy G gets the top, and everyone goes right back their lanes. Looks like Goody is going to be playing this Kunkka, so it is going to be a support Kunkka. Schofield playing a mid or a safe lane Invoker. I like that. I'm not 100% sold, but I like it. 1, 2, 3, of course, taking the Razor and the mid lane to go against the DK. That is fantastic. That is a lane that favors the Razor really well.
It's going to be a tough lane for enemy up top, honestly. This Lich is going to give him a hard time. AC is going to be nigh impossible to kill. They don't actually, I mean, unless they get a lucky double stun with a cast, which might be coming up in a second. Here we go. Bouncing off. Looks like they're not going to be that lucky.
Yeah, that was a bad bounce for them.
Yeah, unfortunate bounce, but yeah, they might actually have a rough time of this. AC should be able to get some decent farm here, and the lane will be kept back most of the time by Jerry. Yeah, it's also interesting to see Jerry not on a Viper.
Yeah. Wow, is that a shot fired? Jerry, though, I mean,
I have some sort of man crush for Jerry on his Viper recently. I can't explain it. Maybe I don't know, follow me on Twitch and or on Twitter rather. Maybe I can figure it out in an interview later.
Nice plug. All right, so with the sacrifice too, we talked about this lane, is going to make this even more impossible because BSJ, he's going to get innately less experience out of this lane because of that. And it's a whole nother creep of experience going the way of Jerry, who will probably be out-leveling this Ursa. In fact, is keeping up with Ursa right now, but it could get worse when the cooldown on that spell starts going down. Meanwhile, Sovereign, you can see he's just being a huge nuisance on this bottom lane. Schofield's already back. Goody cannot go toe-to-toe with him. This is trouble for Not Today to have to deal with the Beastmaster here.
So what's the answer to it? I mean, just literally as soon as you see a board, just bum rush the board, get it down as quick as you can, and then reset?
Yeah, a level 1 boar, I mean, all across all levels, the boar ends up being pretty easy to kill, so you've got to kill it very quickly. The thing about Sovereign, though, is you don't kill him. That's the big part about it. Unless you rotate someone down or get a very, very lucky torrent, you don't kill him. So the boar is going to be the biggest thing. You get it down, he can't be as aggressive, but I don't think you just win this lane against him. If, at best, you'll break even.
Yeah. Kind of the same situation up top, too. This is going to be... And what I was really surprised by is both teams had incredibly aggressive early and mid-game lineups. And what was it, like 4 kills in 12 minutes that we saw?
Yep.
It was just... I mean, we might see the same thing here, even more passive than the first game.
And see, this was a huge thing. I think this is a pretty big difference from what we usually see when we watch South American and North American Dota. Is it's a kind of a clash of styles. SA tends to be very, very aggressive, whereas NA, they like to sit back, they like to get their items out, and they like to farm and not be as aggressive. So it's kind of playing to the NA style more, the fact that these games haven't really been getting a lot of kills. And I think Not Today, their draft picks up a little bit on that and is better suited to deal with it than what their Bane was in the last one. But it still is a bit of a trouble for them, and we'll see if they can make it work this time around. Sovereign, he dropped pretty low when we last looked at him in the bottom lane. He had his salve at the ready, though. With 2 boars, it looks like they can't really do much about him right now.
This is a nice combo, actually. Goody, he got the full combo with the X and then the Torrent, and then Schofield dropped a Meteor on his face. And yeah, it was really close. Looks like they, hopefully Not Today, have gotten the cobweb shaken out here. Their execution seems a little more crisp in the early game. Nope, a little bit of a brawl up top here.
Yeah, as they come out with the Frost Blast. AC is locked in with the Paralyzing Cast, but can time walk down onto the low ground. And even though it doesn't go very far, all you need is just to get across that barrier of a cliff. Meanwhile, 1, 2, 3, he will go ahead and steal some damage, but it's not going to be a whole lot. As Slayer, he's now fast, but doesn't have his Dragon Tail, so he cannot stun 1, 2, 3, and therefore they can't get that kill. But they get pretty damn close to it, as, you know, Razor, even though he's got enough to 1v1, he's not all that tanky just yet. A whole lot of HP, but only 4 armor.
Can't blame him for going for a little more passive build with double Dragon Blood against a Razor.
Yep.
But unfortunately, yeah, the passive build kind of backfires on that one. There's a big yank, taking 73 damage away from him this time. It's like, literally, I would love it if when you're in negative damage, like little rainbow would come out and you start healing the other guy.
That'd be awesome. I don't think there's any interaction. I thought there was one that used to happen. It was some very weird thing with bonus damage, but I don't think there's any interaction that you can actually heal someone by right-clicking. And I wish there was. You're right. I wish a rainbow came out, you know, instead of the Desolator effect is a nice, you know, multicolored effect, but there's going to be another static link here in the mid lane. Slayer taking a bit of damage, but now 1, 2, 3 could be in a bit of trouble. They're going to go ahead, hit him with the, what is this, the Omniscience, or the Penitence, rather. That slows them down. They're looking for that final follow-up stun, but they can't quite get the range on it. Meanwhile, Sovereign on the bottom lane, he'll get a kill, dies immediately afterwards to Schofield, but, I mean, that's a pretty decent kill. But remember what we said in the last game. If you're an off... I actually don't think I said this yet. I think I said it on stream. I'm getting really confused. But if you're an offlaner, you don't trade your life for support if the enemy carry gets the kill. It's something you cannot do. So as far as how this lane's going, that is a very big win for Not Today. The fact that they're able to bring down Schofield, or not Schofield, bring down the Beastmaster eventually. Sovereign, rather. Starts with an S.
The looks like about next runes are coming up. Let's see what we get here. It was a really nice play by Frozen, waiting until nighttime, getting I'm not sure if they did any D wards or anything, but at least waiting until nighttime, wait until the limited vision, flank around the backside on 1-2-3. Unfortunately, the dude is just too damn fast. Even without the unstable turn, he was able to outrun everybody during all those shenanigans that were going on. And yeah, you do bring up a very good point. It was the first time you brought it up, but it's an incredibly important point that I don't think enough people bring up. Is that trading lives in there, especially for a support. I mean, if you can get the carry, would you consider it worth it in the safe lane?
Oh yeah,
If you're
trading
the
your life
offlaner?
for a carry, if the support gets the kill, is worth it. Other way around is not. The only reason where it can be sort of worth it is if you are gonna die anyway, so you just get the kill as a last resort. But if that wasn't the case, and I apologize, 'cause I actually did not catch the kill before it happened, but if that wasn't the case, then yeah, I definitely would not put that for enemy GG's favor.
Schofield having a much better game here. It's weird seeing 1-2-3 not on the Invoker though, but I mean, I'm definitely sympathizing with any Invoker player on not today, be it 1-2-3 or Schofield right now. But
Yep.
let me take a look here for his Invoker play. I'll be right back.
Yeah, as a Slayer going negative in his damage. You can see the only damage he's doing right now is the damage over time, as now comes the Plasma Field. 1-2-3. He's got 5 seconds for another static link, but there is no one really in range to help out. Meanwhile, okay, come on. Sovereign, he'll get a kill this time. It's worth it. I really should be watching this guy more, because I know just how aggressive Beastmasters can be and just how many times they can find a kill, but with that level 6 up, it's very easy to bring someone down, especially if it's just a lowly support like Goody on the Kunkka. So it's a place where we should be expecting kills that I really should be watching a little bit more, but for right now, I was watching Slayer doing no damage in the mid lane, and of course, you know, report caster, I guess.
Left brain, right brain collide. That's one of the things that's really interesting about casting, is that you're doing so much left and right brain stuff at the same time. Meanwhile, Slayer, new runes up. He's going to go ahead and grab the Arcane. He's had a lot of good fortune with getting non-bounty runes and things he can actually try and act on. He does have a Dragon Tail. Elder Dragon Form is actually up soon. I don't think it'll be up on the, pardon the pun, Dragon Tail end of it. I think about the time. No, it's going to be pretty tight. If he literally pops his Dragon Form right as the Arcane Rune is about to expire, you might be able to make something of it and get a little something extra as well. Get a shorter cooldown on it for later that they might not be aware of.
I'm not sure he can find a kill with that one, though. I mean, 1-2-3 is just so hard to bring down. If he wants to do something, I think you got to rotate in someone like Sovereign to end up getting the kill, as the Primal Roar is ready. He's got both his boars, so look to him to try to find this kill, as in the mid lane. 1-2-3 is going to go ahead with the static link, try to chase down Slayer, maybe create a little bit of action across the map, get everyone's attention. But Sovereign on the bottom, he's looking for something. He's got both his boars, again, just at the ready, but it seems he's being very cautious right now, doesn't want to give up too much. Instead, we'll go into the jungle, as we mentioned, and just try to take control of some creeps there. Of course, the Iron Talon being very useful with that little escapade too.
Yeah, and I'm not exactly sure what the ideal time for Necronomicon is, but it's definitely coming at a reasonable pace. He just needs
There's
the
going to be
recipe,
a
and he's underway.
chrono on the top lane. They go out with a Sunstrike as well. Banana Slam Jamma taking so much, but they've got the Hand of God. Wow, what a spell name. Hand of God comes in and saves him at the last possible second. Of course, the Enrage also helping him out. Meanwhile, Sovereign and Frozen, a whole zoo of animals ready and waiting to go in on to 1-2-3. He moves himself in towards the river. This is the perfect opportunity. They're being a little bit slow on it right now as they come on in. They're revealed to the tower, and there's a TP gets canceled right away, as with all this red blood in the mid lane, perhaps they go straight for a push. But as of right now, it seems they're just going to go ahead and back off. And a whole lot of nothing happening from what seemed to be a whole lot of something. As in the top lane, Paralyzing Cask bouncing in enemy GG's favor, but of course the Time Walk proving to be a little bit more of a nuisance.
Bottom tower is actually getting pressured quite a bit on enemy's side. It's down to about a third. The Sovereign definitely getting something out of his rotations and stuff, but Schofield's pretty much living the dream. Top of the net worth. Or rather, top of the last hits.
There's going to be an X-Mark, a Torrent, Sunstrike, Meteor, all the damage in the world. And Schofield will get the kill. You know, as far as Invoker goes, a lot of people, it seems, don't quite respect the amount of damage that Meteor ends up doing. And now he's got a Forge Spirit coming out. It will get the Test of Faith, or not Test of Faith, Change of Heart here. A Banana Slam Jam will go in, though, onto 1, 2, 3. The X Marks will bring him right back. It's hit by the Torrent, but the Enrage keeping him relatively healthy. Though in comes Goody and Schofield. They're going to deal a pretty decent sum of damage, and BSJ will go down. Meanwhile, Flying Zebra trying to walk away from this one. The stun won't connect. In comes the Primal Roar Sovereign looking for a kill on the Schofield. This could be huge if they get it. A Torrent will, or a boat rather, will come through and help them survive a little bit longer, but it will end up going down in the end. A Paralyzing Cask now out onto Goody. They're looking for some extra little bit of damage out. They've also got the Centaur here with a stun, and they'll bring down a 3-for-1. Enemy GG, they lose Banana Slam Jamma, but they get so much more out of that fight. They might be able to go in and get the Roshan, not for BSJ. Actually, he's going to be coming in pretty soon, it looks like. So yeah, they will be going for the Roshan here, and they will be getting it. What a fight for Enemy GG. It started out so well for Not Today, but the follow-up damage was just way too much to deal with.
And Sovereign actually did buy back in the middle of that and comes back in. And everything was looking pretty even, all things considered. The fact that they got BSJ down and the fact that he wasn't, and that Roche was pretty damn healthy, had about 3/4 of his health on the tail end of the fight. But everything just, their lines, Not Today's lines broke. However, to give them credit though, literally, as we pretty much more than double our kills in about 60 seconds. Oh, one more action down bottom going on Goody.
Yeah, he could be in a bit of trouble here. He's going to get the X Marks out, though, which sends him back. Banana Slam Jamma, that is. Goody, though, taking a little bit too much damage. Of course, the axes will come through and clear away all the trees, so there is no juking for the captain of the ship here, as the Tier 1 tower bottom should be going down very soon between the creeps from Chen as well as the double boar. Yeah, this tower is not long for this world. They might even be able to push a little bit more. They've got a whole zoo of units in the bottom lane that they can go ahead and push down with. So I imagine we're going to be seeing another Tier 2 going down very shortly. Meanwhile, Slayer in the mid. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is going to go through with this the static link here, and a lot of damage coming out. Do they have quite enough? It looks like, yeah, 2 more right clicks, and that should be it. As a Tier 1 mid also should go down, but again, the pressure on the bottom lane proving to be a little bit more than they can handle.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to win the, enemy will probably win the race. Pretty much enemy party of 12.
Yep.
They're going to win the race. We're actually about fairly even. Neither side's going to have time to TP in the neck of time to literally save the tower and get any ganks off the tail end of it or anything. Like with the, like you mentioned with the X marks the spot. Very similar like to a disruptor. Basically, whatever time you think you have to push a tower, you have to subtract a few extra seconds, or that Kunkka or Disruptor will literally make you pay for it, pull you into a fight you don't want, or give you a kill. One thing that was sort of a silver lining to that fight, even though an enemy did win and get the Roche, Not Today we're able to completely buy out for the people that died. We did get the Yule Scepter done for Schofield. Pretty much was able to, he was down to, bought out, was down to 100 gold by the time he died, so a little bit of a silver lining for that, keeping him well within this game. This is the third time we've crossed, since minute 3, third time we've crossed the dead even mark in net worth.
Oh no, Bear is hunting. He's got an invisibility rune. He's looking. Jerry might not be his kill. I think Goody might be a little bit better. X marks a spot, but Goody getting a false sense of security as booyah, there's a bear. And it's just going to get swiped down. The boat does connect on the Sovereign, but I'm not quite sure Sovereign's going to be too sad that he died there, as he's still got a couple of boars up and helping out. Those Schofield's just going to be able to keep away, so I guess there is a problem with Sovereign dying. They needed the Primal Roar, and they didn't quite have it. Of course, a Blink being purchased by Slayer should help out a little bit. Without the Beastmaster, the attack speed isn't quite as good, but they still are able to muscle down some towers relatively quickly. And I think you mentioned how Beastmaster, he bought back recently, so that's going to be a pretty sizable amount of time that he is on the death list right now as AC. Oh, the Chrono will catch 3. Banana Slam Jamma. Of course, he's got Nagus Mortality, so it's not that bad. Chain Frost is a little bit late, but Slayer still is dropping very low. It's alive, though. The Dragon Blood should be able to keep him alive for a lot longer, too. They've also got Flying Zebra with the Death Ward, helping out with a little bit of damage. X marks on the BSJ, though. Does he have an Enrage? 2 seconds, and that'll help out a lot. Comes through for AC, though. The Time Walk's going to send him back. Schofield is in a bit of trouble. Enrage now out from Banana Slam Jamma. As he's locked right back in, the boat will come through, but that is not going to do all that much damage. And of course, the Enrage dropping down. AC will go for a couple of bashes to bring him out of it. Meanwhile, Sovereign's back. back, looking for AC. They've got the damage. He cannot time walk away from that one. Now Sovereign will chase down Jerry. The movement speed slow from the boar, proving to be a lot to deal with. Of course, the ice armor will keep him back. And that should be a very nice fight for enemy GG. This time they lose the Ursa, but Sovereign's back in to make up for lost ground as he pushes down the tower with the good attack speed. Okay, no, never mind. They'll back off.
Do something about that.
The ice armor, unfortunately, wasn't able to get it on the tower in time, so it takes a little bit of extra damage. Nice ward by enemy, by the way, getting it deep. As well, some little bit of preliminary warding into that second fight that we had there. I think they dropped, pretty sure they dropped that observer ward in the middle of the first fight, leading to the second fight. I gotta say, Zebra's pretty much living the dream. He was a machine gun nest in that pretty much the entire first fight. He was able to get the entire duration of his death ward off.
Yeah.
I didn't see on the fight recap whether or not he had the most damage, but he was definitely up there.
Yeah.
So a bunch of new toys rolling in. Schofield has finished his Yule Scepter. He did manage to survive pretty much that entire fight, so he gets a lot of golden experience, almost 3k AC.
Yeah. 2,700
Yep,
right now. That's incredible amount of gold for him to have. I'm not quite sure what he buys next. He could just be going for the Aghanim Scepter, which is a pretty safe and solid pickup for him to go for right now. Upgrading his boots might be something that he wants to try to prioritize very soon, but makes his way to the secret shop. If this is a point booster, okay, maybe just avoiding the secret shop altogether. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what he goes for, especially as a carry invoker. I play it often, and I would say the Aghanim Scepter would be one of the bigger item pickups for him, but AC is definitely a good item for him to grab, as well as potentially going for the crits earlier on with all that attack damage he gets from Exhort, so we'll have to see exactly what he prioritizes here, but with 3k gold, it's pretty crazy.
Speaking of AC, it's always a little confusing when a dude is literally named a hero, or at least the abbreviation of an item or something like that. So he just picked up his Blink Dagger, working on the flags. He went for the Blink first. I think that's a good pickup, getting the Chrono going. For the kite ability, the mech is almost done on Jerry. Just need the recipe, unless it's on the courier. 1-2-3, 1-2-3 with the comeback Midas, so to speak. Not sure exactly when he picked that up, but that'll keep him competitive. And meanwhile, we've got Necro level 3 on Sovereign. Looks like they want to make a play.
Yep, AC is going to look, it looks like Flying Zebra is his only kill, so he will end up spending the Chronosphere for this one, but plenty of support, maybe? No, they've got no support coming in. Okay, Flying Zebra is just dead. Just a lowly Witch Doctor that they spent all of that time on, but he did buy an Ogre Club recently, so the amount of gold he loses from that isn't all that much. In fact, he's got 300 gold, 20 or so unreliable, so whatever he lost sent him down to 0 unreliable. It's not that bad for him. The thing is, though, enemy GG have 20 seconds on the board where they can't just try to take a straight team fight, which is trouble. I think they want to try to exercise that window that they have to straight push, but not today. Are playing this one very well. They've got good Chronosphere usages. Now a Vlad's pickup on AC. They're looking all right as far as their net worth goes. Of course, Schofield as well, just on the top of the net worth board, has bought something recently. It is going to be 3 parts of his Aghanim Scepter, so that is going to be what he's going for, is the 20-minute Ags.
The level 3, we took another, actually level 2 Necronomicon, excuse me. It should be level 3 up, it's on the way out for Schofield. They're still getting, the enemy's still getting a little bit better, a little bit more on the tower side of things. They traded 2 towers for 3 a few minutes ago, and they've got about half of this tier 2 mid down, which will give them great Roche position. This is their last decent tower that Not Today have for the Roche pit when you got an Ursa on the other side, so that's pretty, I mean, you can't ask for much better than that. We've got what seems to be a BKB in the works for BSJ, which is, I mean, honestly a great pickup. It'll shut down the Invoker almost entirely. A whole lot of things will get shut down, keeping him in the fight, make it a lot harder to kite him, easier for Frozen to get his ult off. Speaking of which, he has the mech done, so double heal is done. And Greaves, I don't know, do you think he's holding on for Greaves at this point, or do you think he's going to do something else on Frozen?
You know,
got about 500 to go.
Yeah, Greaves. Yeah, I mean, it's 1,600 gold. It is good. I don't think Aghanim Scepter is as useful as of an item anymore. Of course, yeah, they want their Ancients out. You know what? Actually, yeah, Ancients are going to be pretty important for him to grab, so maybe he skips the Greaves to go for the Aghanim Scepter coming out, but I could definitely see Greaves being a powerful item. The just the amount you get out of it for pushes is very strong. So I'd prefer to see the Axe, but I could definitely see him going for the Greaves, whatever he decides to go for.
This net worth actually looks very dramatic, but it's only been a 1K game for either team at any point at all. It's pretty amazing. This is actually some damn good Dota we're watching right here, guys.
Yeah, and I'm
Going
very
for some deep
surprised.
warding action.
You know, not today. We talked about them coming into this game, the fact that they had a lot of questionable plays in the last game. They had a lot of shakiness in their style, and right now, again, they drafted up a little bit better to deal with this slow play that enemy GG tends to bring out, and I'm really liking how they're dealing with some of the pushes that are coming out too. The Chronospheres have been on point. Schofield has just been a monster so far with the damage coming out. Of course, now Meatball and Sunstrike, sorry, Meteor and Sunstrike, you know, old habits die hard. But that does a massive amount of damage. Enemy GG are going to have a lot of trouble pushing this. Aegis of Immortality is going to be pretty important for them to get. But if not today decide to contest, this could be really big trouble. They've got to smoke up. They're going to go for this. Oh boy. AC, he's got a chrono. Do they have the Roshan down? He's going to drop in 2 or 3 last hits. Yes, they're going to get it in just the nick of time. But it looks like the chrono's still coming. It's only going to catch 2, and it looks like the damage isn't quite real. The Sunstrike's going to come on to BSJ. He has the Aegis Mortality, so he's not afraid to get in the thick of the fight. There is going to be a Deafening Blast coming out, catching onto Sovereign and Flying Zebra, who will go out for the Death Ward, but it's not going to really hit onto anyone. AC will go up onto the high ground. He blinks back and ends up putting himself onto the high ground once again to go for the TP, and they can't cancel it. Nothing really going either way. Not today will lose their Lich. But as far as that fight set up, I'm surprised we only saw one person dying.
Totally surprised. There's the Greaves, by the way. A huge save by Goody. I was about to point out, but we didn't have time. He's got an Aether Lens. Look at the range that he has on the control with this Admiral right here. The X marks the spot, and the Torrent range is just bananas right now. So his ability to control the Ursa, he literally saved pretty much almost everybody on Not Today by sending him back towards the Roche pit, and then everybody just got out of dodge. They're like, okay, this fight's over, let's leave. And all things considered, Not Today could have been a lot worse, a whole hell of a lot worse.
Yeah, and I'm actually really surprised that Banana Slam Gemma didn't drop his Aegis Immortality there. I think he got within, what, 400 or so HP? But the Enrage just once again proving to be something that they can't deal with. And now the BKB is done. So as far as the Torrent and the X marks the spot goes, it's not going to be as effective to stop this Ursa. But they still have plenty of kiting potential as far as their movement speeds go. It could still be trouble, but next marks the spot now. Is it going to come out? It will. Banana Slam Gemma being torrented up. Pops the Enrage, still has the Aegis. Will back away from the static link so he doesn't lose any real damage. Now at about 60, so yeah, he's got to wait for that static link debuff to end. Another Torrent. Just keep coming out like a machine gun, locking Banana Slam Gemma in place. Another X marks the spot. This one going to be slightly less useful, though.
Yeah, their ability to just dive in is just so limited by this Kunkka. I think it's a really good counterpick to the Ursa. Never really even thought of it. You don't think like maybe a disruptor or something, but he's filling the role quite well.
Chrono, blinks back, goes on to Slayer, but Banana Slam Gemma is letting loose on Agudi. Will lose a lot of damage from the static link, but the damage is already done as Banana Slam Gemma is going to go down. I don't think the static link does persist as Flying Zebra, well, it persists on the 1-2-3, dealing so much back the other way. But yeah, Banana Slam Gemma coming back with full damage will destroy 1-2-3. It's a 3-for-3 trade right now. The big thing here, though, is that Sovereign's still alive. The attack speed buff is going to continue to be a player in these next couple of skirmishes. If they want to skirmish anymore, no. It looks like enemy GG are going to TP out. They lose the Aegis. They lose 3. So I guess more of a 4-for-3 trade right there. But Schofield, once again, dominating in some of these fights. And he's got another 3K, 4K gold in the bank. I could definitely see Assault Cuirass being his next item, or if he wants to go pure on spell damage, he could end up splurging a little bit and going for that Refresher's Orb.
I think this mech is huge, even though it's a late mech. It's a very late mech, but the amount of control that Not Today are exhibiting with both the Chronosphere, the X-Mark Spot Torrent, everything that they have is buying enough time for these mech, a big heal like this to really have more oomph than it really needs to have.
Yep.
I think they really have a really good shot here. BKB is still at 10 seconds for BSJ. I mean, it was a 3-for-3 trade overall, getting more on the Bearman, and it was 2 cores and a support for enemy losing 2 supports and a core, but all things considered, not today still. I mean, just the fact that they are literally deflecting them. Enemy have not taken a tower in, I think, 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, and that was a
It's been
tier 1
long
tower
time.
skirmish that they couldn't bring down a tower, and that is hugely important for the fact that Not Today have a really good later game. And it looks like, Sovereign could be in a lot of trouble. Do they end up popping the chrono? They've got it in 3 seconds, 1 second now. The time walk for it, do they want to spend it on a solo Frozen? It looks like his decision is not to go for it. A couple of creeps will keep his blink, hopefully on cooldown. If they spend it, no, they're not stopping his blink dagger. He can blink forward and go for the chrono if he wants to. Frozen should end up dying nonetheless. No, he will pop the greaves. Does he have a Hand of God? No. 30 seconds away, though the clap from the Ursa, the Hellbear Smasher, another X marks the spot. Frozen will end up dropping, and so too will the Hellbear Smasher. But I mean, that was a whole lot of commitment for that Shen. They finally get him, and that puts enemy GG back another 30 seconds on this push, as well as a couple more creeps just not going the way of enemy GG. They need to get the zoo back, and they need to get these pushes back, but it looks like Not Today are just doing a little bit better.
We are showing so much more respect in this game. Obviously, we've gone more. I think the first game was between almost 25 minutes,
Yep.
and we've definitely eclipsed that mark. No towers being taken. Enemy are they just seem unsure of what to do next. They looks like they want to get that big pick off.
Oh, wow. Sovereign, that blink dagger couldn't have been better timed. And now Chronosphere on cooldown. It's not a really short cooldown either. I mean, we're looking at 100 seconds where Not Today, they don't have one of their biggest ultimates right now. I mean, of course, Schofield's still a bit of a problem, but you see enemy GG right away. They make their way up to the top lane. They go again for this tier 1 tower, and without a Chronosphere giving them anything to worry about, this could be a very effective and very successful push, but they'll still back off. They still fear Schofield's damage, and of course the X marks and the torrents becoming more and more of a problem. Roshan's going to be down for another 2 minutes plus the randomized timer, so they don't have the Aegis Mortality ready to go. It's just another farming game for enemy GG, except what do they get out of farming this one? And Slayer hasn't really been building into right click. He's mostly been building into his tank. Ursa had to build a BKB as well, now just getting his Basher. Meanwhile, Schofield, the Refresher's Orb does end up getting completed. I mean, the BKBs are perfect to deal with the Refresher's Orb. Actually, they're really perfect. I'm surprised he didn't go for the AC after seeing both of them get those BKBs, but it's greedy. We'll see if it pays off.
Yeah, enemy have just literally have been stopped cold. They're just unsure of they're unsure of the exact moment, the Kairos moment, so to speak. I mean, that's why I picked this name. It's literally, Kairos is the Greek god of the perfect moment to go in, to commit, to basically just push all your chips in and go for victory, commitment, success, whatever. And enemy have been able to go pretty much ham in the last 4 out of 5 games, I think, and just full out aggression. So now they're carrying a little bit more to their late game, which, like you said, I think Not Today have a little more of that. The Admiral's actually going a little more into stats. I think we might eventually see some Tidebringer, but he put at least 1 level into his stats. But yeah, the fact that Not Today have stopped them cold, enemy just, I am just wondering, there's so much that's riding on the late game for Not Today. I mean, their itemization, that we got the Ags more than halfway done for AC. I mean, that 60-second chrono, it's going to set up so many other team fights. The ability to keep pushing, like we mentioned before in the draft, was like, okay, great, get them to blow their ults in the first fight and then come back in for another round. That would be ideal, but it's not happening the way they want it to. So they're literally, let's see, take a look at the net worth too. Wow, 1,000 gold games still. Nobody has had more than maybe 3K.
Yeah, and Goody pulling the X marks yourself and go for a casual push. I mean, that's a valid strategy. He doesn't have a Blink Dagger, so he can't really do it with the Blink to get himself further ahead. And doesn't have his Tidebringer either, so he can't just burst down creep waves. But, I mean, that's what you expect out of this support Kunkka. We mentioned Aghanim Scepters being completed, though, and one thing I really like to point out here is that Flying Zebra has completed his. That is incredibly important. It is not a level 3 Death Ward just yet, but it's still quite a bit of damage that Not Today have to be very sure they're going to take care of. One big thing here is that Flying Zebra does not have anything like a Glimmer Cape or a BKB to keep himself within the ability to cape casting the Death Ward. So it can easily be canceled by a Wayward Tornado. I mean, if he did have a Glimmer, it could still be canceled by a Tornado, but if you can't see him, it's harder to get the Tornado off is the main point here. So Flying Zebra, he's got to be very careful about his positioning, wait for either cooldowns to be spent before he casts it, or use it to force a cooldown. And that's going to be his main playstyle here. Meanwhile, Frozen, not really getting close to the axe. He's got the point booster, but nothing else. And Banana Slam Jammer, after getting that Basher, about 2,500 gold, could be finishing that Abyssal Blade very soon. That's going to be an important pickup for him, but it's still riding on the fact that those Chronospheres do not end up catching him. Because if they do, I mean, there's nothing really you can do about it. Once it's down, you're screwed.
We haven't really given a whole lot of love to 1-2-3 in the last couple minutes, so let's point out the fact that he is incredibly hard to kill with a halberd now.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's pretty much, and we've got ice armor for days, basically. Jerry's doing a good job keeping it up on everybody. The fact that it's, you know, they don't have, I mean, the overpower can go through that, but you still have the movement speed issue to deal with. We don't have, you know, we don't have the things such as, let's see, do we even have a drum? Yeah, we don't have a, okay, we do have a drum with 3 charges left on Slayer. They're economizing that pretty well. One of the things I thought, I was kind of in the back of my head, I was thinking maybe they were just waiting on the Ags for Flying Zebra and then they would go. Or maybe they're just waiting for the next Roche, which is up.
Yep, it's up, but a smoke immediately from Not Today. They're showing that they want to be the aggressors here. They're going to find Sovereign. Can they bring him down? This could be an important kill. No, he'll blink away immediately. Frozen could be in a bit of trouble, leaving all of his creeps behind, but it looks like he will send them or pull them back to himself. And that'll be it. Slayer pops himself into the Elder Dragon form. Will blink forward. They're going in. But the Chronosphere will stop the action for now. Remember, there's a BKB. Now a Death Ward. Goody in a little bit of trouble. He's got the Ghost Scepter, though. And that's trouble. Meanwhile, Schofield will bring down Sovereign, who buys back into this one. And now a TP out. We'll get the Razor 1-2-3 out of this one. Goody is dead. But that opens up the Roshan. So only 1 kill. Well, 2 kills, technically, the Sovereign buying back. This is a very important Roche for an enemy GG to grab, though, and that smoke not going to stop him from getting it. So a Roche, Aegis, and Cheese going the way of enemy GG. I think the Cheese they want to put on Slayer. Yeah, they will put the Cheese on Slayer. And now in comes the push. 33 minutes, definitely not the most ideal window for them. But they've got to do something now because they cannot let this game go very much longer. They've got to make sure that these BKBs won't go down too deep into their duration. Like 5-second BKBs, not what you want. You want long duration BKBs to win the game with. So it looks like they will be coming off cooldown very soon. And with that, this push needs to work.
Ags Chrono is on the way right now for AC, but he's still got the old cooldown of 45 seconds. Obviously, this tier 2 is going to go. We've got, like you said, the deluxe roast with cheese, lettuce, tomato, and onion on Slayer. I mean, that's incredibly tanky. He's going to essentially, it's essentially, this is enemy party of 15, because you essentially have 2 BSJs, 2 Slayers, if things go well. The Hand of God, the mech, and all these extra creeps as well. They have so much sustainability to put through this.
Up and Slam Jammer, they hit him with a cold snap, but it's not going to be able to follow up with anything. The EMP is down. That's 1 cooldown they've got to keep note of. The EMP being pretty important, but the meatball is the big one. And he doesn't have Refresher's Aura Bound for 80 seconds, so this is going to be very, very big for enemy GD to recognize that the Refresher's down, that they need to do something here. And it looks like with the Ice Path down, they cannot push past this staircase. This is pretty important, as the Torrent comes, won't be able to connect on the BSJ. Still just casual, slow, but Banana Slam Jammer says no way! He blinks right on up to the high ground. Remember, he's got the Aegis and Mortality, but he's losing so much damage here. It looks like he will get brought down. The Aegis and Mortality now being spent. Slayer's up on the high ground, but taking a bit of damage from this one. A Chronos here will drop on the BSJ. They've got the meatball. They've got everything. They'll bring the Ursa down. 70 seconds without their carry, and the rest of them will follow suit as Flying Zebra will also be taken down. AC moving forward onto Slayer, dealing a little bit of damage, but the big thing here is that he is alone, turning and trying to fight, but will not be able to win that one. He's got buyback, didn't spend his cheese for a good reason too. So it looks like enemy GG are riding on their last legs here. Sovereign also going down. Remember, he bought back recently. He goes Oh, the Sunstrike perfectly placed, and they'll get his Gem of True Sight. Oh boy, not today. Just split this one wide open. And I almost struggle to say that enemy GG will be able to recover from that one.
Come on, game 3. Let's see it. Come on.
Yeah.
Nuclear football on the
Looking
hands
like
of Jerry right now. They've got, yeah, like you said, a dieback from Schofield. So many big ults down. When the time they respawn, everybody's big ults should be back up, but also on the same side. Not today. Chronosphere now with the Aghanims. We've got the Butterfly on 1, 2, 3 as well. Sanjin Yasha. It just seems like he just literally picked up a whole item off the tail end of that team fight. We got emergency buybacks. Looks like enemy will go ahead and basically put some sandbags up to keep the floodwaters back.
Oh,
Nope,
here
they're
we
coming
go.
back in.
Another Chrono down. Banana Slam Gemma taking way too much again. They've got a Death Warp, but it's not doing anything because it's in the Chronosphere. Final will do some damage, but Flying Zebra cannot keep it up for too much longer. They've got a way to cancel it. And so everyone healthy. Meanwhile, Banana Slam Gemma has died once again. Slayer will go in, try to do what he can here to push them back. He's got his level 3 Dragon form ready to go. But it's like, it's not going to do too much. The racks are already gone. And
no
looks like
buyback.
not today. We'll back off.
No buyback for the bear, man. And it looks
Yep.
like the damage is done. They're happy with what they got. They're playing a lot more conservative. They don't feel like they need to. They don't. You know, this is their game to blow at this point. God, what a beautiful team fight, and just absolutely controlling BSJ. He was able to do nothing on their side of the base, and they're not making the same mistake that enemy just made, just going full ham. I mean, they're giving a lot of respect back to enemy, and. Oh wow, another Lincoln's picked up too. A little more defensive build, but we've got Refresher. Yeah, this guy, first one to break 20k is Schofield.
Yeah, and it's funny. He's playing a safe lane Invoker, but he's playing it a mid style. The items are very reminiscent of what you do if you're going for the mid utility Invoker. Meanwhile, the Razor is doing the opposite. He's playing a mid and Razor, but going for a carry style. And I kind of like this way they swapped it up because of what the lane matchups were. Remember, 1, 2, 3 was going up against Dragon Knight. That is a much better lane for Razor to deal with. Meanwhile, Schofield was going up against Sovereign, which Schofield can end up dealing pretty well, and apparently with the Beastmaster. I didn't think they'd do as well as they did, but Meatball, once again, a respectable amount of damage, and now Frozen. Probably going to go down, but no, AC has bigger options for him. They will end up getting bashed, but it's not going to last nearly long enough. He gets his Chronosphere off. Now the Chain Frost bouncing back and forth and back and forth. But the cheese gets popped. The BKB, now AC in a lot of trouble. AC will go down, has buyback. Schofield needs to be incredibly careful. He turns around with a Deafening Blast, and Banana Slam Jamma will go down. Buys back immediately. They have to wipe him. They got to do something about this. As looks like Slayer way back behind, waiting for his Elder Dragon form. Now will pop it, but gets sent into the air with both a Tornado and a Yule Scepter. But what's that? Oh, Sovereign's creep. His Necronomicon will bring down Schofield, and that's 80 seconds that he's on the board. Now they've got double buybacks if they need it, but the Invoker, he's down and out for the count. What a fight for enemy GG to take. Of course, they had to spend a buyback on Banana Slam Jamma, but they were finally able to deal with that, with AC on the Faceless Void, and it seemed that was one of the big things that they needed to do.
This is so risky for enemy to push right now. They have no buybacks, absolutely none, including diebacks. And this is, if they lose right here, I mean, not today do have buybacks. They'll have 4 on high ground with beautiful high ground defense. Just the fact that they have Chronosphere up for 6 seconds buys that much more time for the respawn timer for here. And enemy are still going for it. It looks like they want this, and
Yeah.
this is way too tight. They cannot afford to lose this on offense.
Yeah, this is very risky, especially without Flying Zebra on their side too. He is defending the mid lane. They'll send a couple of creeps after the tier 3 tower, but it doesn't seem like they're going full commitment yet. With 10 seconds left on the death for Schofield, it looks like, yeah, they'll show some respect. They'll back off and not try for a tower push here. And, you know, as you said, the few says it all. That was a very smart play from them. Of course, you know, if you're a fan of enemy GG, you want them to be able to just go in and bring down a tower, but we saw what happened last time in the mid lane. Banana Slam Jamma getting antsy, going straight in, balls to the walls, and ends up getting blown to bits. So enemy GG, they've got to pick their fights a lot more carefully, and with that, shows a glimmer of hope, but they're still down a Rax. And where is that Sunstrike? It is in the Roche pit. as Roche is back and 45 seconds plus the randomized timer.
All right, so more health coming out. They've got the big bag golem with the fresh aghanims on frozen. So the aura is going to start stacking up for enemy. There'll be timely auras too, because about that time, when they get about four, you know, 3 or 4 creeps with some really solid auras from ancients rather. Roche should be just about ready. And that, once again, that's a deluxe with cheese, lettuce, tomato, onion, bacon, whatever else you want to put on there. That's the 4th Roche of this game. Every single Roche has gone to enemy so far.
Oh
right?
no, Slayer, he's getting caught with the ice wall here. They're gonna look to try to bring him down. Does he have a cold snap to follow up? It looks like no, the BKB will pop, but immediately, that was his plan. He wanted to pop that BKB, and he does bait it successfully, but 1-2-3 is caught back behind the lines. AC will go in for a solo chrono out onto Slayer, but the Glimmer Cape will stop him from taking too much magical damage from anything. As 1-2-3 now, look at the damage coming out. They're trying to bring him down. They've got the Death Ward. They've got everything. The kitchen sink then finally thrown, and they'll bring down the Razor. 80 seconds on the board with buyback, though. So it's not like he's in any real trouble, but Schofield, this is big, goes down 80 seconds, this time again without buyback. Oh boy, this is very big trouble for Not Today. They're losing in fights that, you know, they shouldn't be losing in, and the BKB bait was perfect. But following up on that just did not seem like Not Today had a solid plan. And of course, Slayer, still an Elder Dragon for him, will go down in about 5 or 10 seconds. This is huge. They need the Dragon to continue pushing this tower, and with it gone, well, I mean, they lose a whole lot of that push. They're still going to go for it, though, trying to make use of Schofield's death.
Yeah, they realize, guys, they're not buying back.
Well, there they go. Assault AC will come in with the Chronosphere, but it's not really doing all that much damage. Banana Slam Jammer will pop the Enrage. Now looking to fight. Remember, Schofield, he's not in this one. 1-2-3. He bought back. He is dead again. Oh no, AC also dropping very low. He does have the Time Walk to get away, but both of your heavy cores are gone. And they're going to go ahead and push down this Rax. They're equalizing the towers now, or equalizing the Rax now. The push isn't going to stop there either. 9-10 seconds on to Schofield, who does not have refreshers, or rather. Oh no, Banana Slam Jammer, he's got his blink at the ready, 7 seconds with a BKB ready to go as well. They're bringing down that next tier 3 tower. AC comes through, stops the cooldown, but Banana Slam Jammer, there he goes on to Schofield. This could be huge. They cannot let this Invoker die. They've got the vision. They need one more swipe. They got it. 80 seconds on the board once again with no buyback. And Not Today, where they just showed some respect. Now we'll have it blown up in their face as enemy GG bring down 2 sets of racks, and now they can comfortably back themselves off. X marks the spot with no torrent to follow up. BSJ can go ahead and blink away. No, they want to go for more. They're going after the tier 2 top.
Yeah, they've got 3 buybacks. They're feeling confident about it. They know the buybacks are down, and they've got 3 buybacks of their own. If they get another set of racks or at least 2 more towers, that tower right there, let's see, we only need 700. Yeah, we only need, it's literally just timers here.
Yep.
This set of racks will give a buyback for pretty much anyone else that needs it that's not on cooldown.
Oh no, and time is running out so quickly. This is Megas. If they lose it, they need to get a wipe here if the Megas happen just to turn this one around. But BSJ, he's not in the Chronosphere, but he walks into it. And of course, BSJ taking so much damage from this one. If he goes down, he's got the BKB, saving him for now. Slayer is up on the board. The Mega Creeps are now spawning. I think enemy GG, they just got to back off, but they're going to fight. AC, he's deep, he's down. 70 seconds, out and out. Jerry will now get chased to slow from the level 3 dragon. Blink forward. They're looking for as much damage as possible, and they've got it. The courier are also going for the feed, trying to find the gem, but it will end up just going down. Schofield is in. He's got the refresher's orb, but whiffs on the meteor. We'll now see a 1-2-3, 1-2-3 drop. And that is GG. Well played. What a turnaround. What a fight. And what a win for enemy GG to pull out in this game number 2.
Their mid-game, or let's put it, their midfield, their open field combat in enemy, their execution is just so much better. Not Today totally pulled it out. They had it. I mean, everything was going so well, and then they just kept pushing their luck out in the open field where enemy were clearly just outplaying them in both games. And I guess they just got a little too cocky there and started tilting.
Yeah, and some of those
Great
fights
job,
that happened too. I mean, look at the fantasy points. 14.9 on Schofield. He played out of his mind that game. But it seemed like, the Razor pick has a time window when it's effective, and of course he built all for damage, not really any for sustain aside from the Sanjin Yasha, so you can't really rely on that completely. And of course Faceless Void, even though he was a walking Chronosphere, he didn't really have any damage of his own. So not today. I mean, they had some good team fight, but as far as their physical damage and sustain goes, really Schofield was the only one that showed that he had the best of both worlds. The rest of them just went too far into one or the other, and it didn't really work out for them. Enemy GG, though, I mean, some of that respect that Not Today showed for them, that is very well seated. That was an incredible game played by them.
All right, so that's going to put... they're not out of this yet, though. Not Today are still in this. They're going to go down to the lower bracket semifinals against XD Gamers. Enemy will move on to the grand finals, and whoever... I mean, we might just see a repeat in a day or two of literally the same thing.
Yep, I'm showing up the brackets right now so you all can get familiar with what's going on. As for right now, guys, I severely recommend you follow this guy at Kairos Casting. He's been a fantastic co-caster this time around. Of course, I am Chicago Ted at TedCast if you want to follow me. Thank you all so much for dropping by today. It was a fantastic game and a fantastic series to cast for you all, and I hope you continue catching the KOD League as it continues. So once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you all next time.
we do it. Yeah. Yo. Yo. That's how we do it.